We've talked about Bonanza on the podcast. We haven't talked about Bonanza on this stream yet. I guess it's worth mentioning real quick. I don't have any visuals prepared, but I guess if I can, let me quickly. I don't know if this is the complete list or if like one or like a couple cards are still missing. But we do have the rough outline of Quarter Century Bonanza. I guess we can talk about it for a brief moment just to get a feel for what you guys think of it. Because I've obviously already thought about what I think of it, but this is okay. So this is part of the main set. So just as a reminder, I have to keep reminding myself because I sometimes forget how it works. But you get 5 cards per pack. There's 2 separate card pools, 78 card main set, 200 card nostalgia set, and in every pack you get 4 cards from the main set and 1 card from the nostalgia set. Right. So the main set. Just looking at this first page, this is not all the cards, obviously there's more, but like for me personally, the way I interpret this is I think Dragoons is a good reprint because that card was expensive. Now with the Mermail cards getting viability again, and I think Dragoons has, the last time it's been reprinted was in some OTS pack a while ago, so I think even the commons ones were worth a little bit, not crazy, but like it's a solid reprint. I personally really like the Dragon Rulers being available in all the rarities, even though they're not going to be like chase cards or expensive or anything like that, but I'm a fan of it. The fact, even though I find it weird that the Dragon Rulers are in the main set and not in the nostalgia set, whereas the baby dragons I think are in the nostalgia set, but whatever. Elder is a good reprint. I think that card was expensive because it was one of the few Ritual Beast cards that actually were not reprinted for some reason. Everything else was. So now I guess the only expensive card for a Ritual Beast core that's left would be the Lara, the new one, right? But I think Elder was due for a reprint. Neptibus is not a bad reprint. Punishment Dragon was also randomly expensive. The 2 Secret 6 Samurais, I know this one was randomly expensive. I have no idea why. I don't even know why I know that. But the Secret 6 Samurai Kizaru was apparently a solid reprint. We've got Arch Nemesis Protoss, which is a good reprint. I think Laundry Dragon Maid is also a good reprint. I don't know if this has gone down, but I remember like back in the day when we played this for the first time in Dragon Maids in Paleo. I mean, this went up a little bit. It wasn't a crazy money card, but like worth reprinting. Nemesis Flag and Corridor alongside Protoss, also very good reprints. The other stuff here, I'm not sure. Then we've got, obviously, Diabellstar is a solid reprint. Schuberta is a solid reprint. Colossus is a good reprint. You got Alt Art House Dragon Maid over here. Toad is a solid reprint. We've got Shizuku in Alt Art as well, which is cool. We got some Charmers. Weird decision, in my opinion, to only include half of the Charmers in Area, Dark, and Win. But no Lina, Ossa, or Lina, Ossa, or Hita. That's kind of whatever. Maybe they're keeping it for another set, but I don't know. We've got Poly Alt Art, which is cool. Heatwave is a good reprint. That card was expensive. Summoning Curse, I think, was expensive. That was the thing that was hyped up when Mimighouls got revealed, I think. That went up a bit after that. And then we have Grass is a good reprint. Ostinato getting a rarity bump. Overall, Thrust, Bonfire, Wanted, some bangers on the last page here. This is the main set. And I'm going to be honest with you, as with Rarity Collection 1 and 2, I'm a huge fan of this. I think this makes a lot of cards more accessible. I mean, SP Little Knight as well, and Promethean, I kind of went over those like they were not important, but I think it's a good set. I think it's a banger set for the main card pool. I think it makes all those cards very, very accessible. I think the only critique point I feel like that is it is valid in my opinion is that with this set in mind, the tins look very mediocre at best. When you think of the fact that like Bonfire, SP Little Knight, and Thrust were all in the tins and were all kind of hard to pull, so they kind of remained expensive. So some people, like, I'm just thinking like how does someone feel who got a SP Little Knight from the tins, which was like 45 or 50 bucks, and then it's getting another reprint a couple of weeks later. I don't know. I think it's this set is great. The tins, not so much in hindsight. Not so much in hindsight, but this set is great regardless. Also, let's take a look at the nostalgia pool, which I personally, let me know how you guys feel about this. I don't think this is gonna make it to YouTube because this is old news, but I'm just asking you live on Twitch right now. Like, how are you guys feeling about the nostalgia approach to this? Like, I have no issue with the approach. I think the approach is cool because you have the chance to reprint a bunch of OG cards in this set without them taking up a lot of slots from like real cards. Like, you're gonna pull one of these cards and you're not gonna feel bad about it because like, oh, this could have been an SP Little Knight, instead it's a Mirror Force, right? Like, not like that, but it still gives them a chance to reprint those cards in cool rarities. The only issue for me personally, and I think this is a me personal issue, like I don't think many people have that issue, is I'm not a huge fan of Platinum Secret or QCR. I would have liked these cards to be available in every rarity so that you can choose whichever one you think is the coolest. But the way the nostalgia pool works is you can only get these cards in Quarter Century or Platinum Secret, which means that if you're not a fan of either of those rarities, then these don't help you that much. But I mean, that's okay, right? It's fine. I can still appreciate the set for what it is. And even then, like, even if you don't like the rarity of a new card, on some of these older cards, it could also drive the prices down for some of the other printings, right? Like, if a card was previously expensive, if it gets reprinted in here, it might also impact the other versions of the card. So if you want to pick up another rarity, that could also go down. The only other thing about this is I feel like this was the perfect, and when I say perfect, I mean literally perfect opportunity to reprint a couple of cards that come to mind that really desperately needed a reprint and are also super iconic cards that definitely belonged into this nostalgia pool. And I can immediately think of 3 cards. I can think of Royal Oppression, Crab Dust Shoot, and Metamorphosis. All 3 of these cards are very, very expensive for a common / rare card from back in the day. I think Metamorphosis goes for like 15 euros plus for a common. Royal Oppression, I think, is also 10 to 15 euros plus. That has a couple of different versions, but they're all super old. Trap Dust Shoot is also 15 or 20 bucks for a common, and that is the cheapest version of the card. And you guys are also mentioning something like Phoenixian Cluster Amaryllis, I think is the entire name. That card is also very expensive, right? And so those were all cards, I feel like, that would have fit perfectly in here, right? Like, I mean, look, is Goblin Attack Force really more iconic and more nostalgic than Metamorphosis, Royal Oppression, Trap Dust Shoot? Like, those cards are very, very relevant for competitive Yu-Gi-Oh's history. You know, I just picked a random card. You know, I got no beef with Goblin Attack Force. Card is cool. Card's in the anime. That card can be here, but I feel like those what I'm saying is the other cards should have been here as well, right? Like, I'm happy with Goblin Attack Force being here. It's fine. But I think when you're making a huge nostalgia pool, those cards deserve to be here. I think Dust Shoot, Oppression, Metamorphosis, those cards should have been here. Definitely, in my opinion, they would have made sense, and they would have seriously improved the value of the reprints in the set, right? Not to say that there's no good reprints here, there are, but you know, you get my point. Anyways, this set will drop this week, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited to get some of these staple cards or reprints in whichever rarity I find the coolest. I personally, at the moment, out of the rarity collections, I'm trying to get my stuff in secret rare, because I've just been kind of liking that. But yeah, overall, I think this is going to be a great set. I just wanted to quickly bring it up. We've talked about it on the podcast already. If you've missed the last podcast episode, you can feel free to check it out. I think it got uploaded a little late this time. Sorry for that. But we yapped about it a little bit with Farfa. Druid's Worm is still like 10 bucks. Is the Druid's Worm is not in here, is it? Yeah. I mean, as always, right? As always, this set does not reprint every single card that's currently expensive. Like, you guys are right. There are cards that are missing from this, but I'm still taking this set as what it is. And I think what it is phenomenal, right? Like, it's always a cool mix. The rarity collections are a cool mix between good reprints and some cool rarity bumps, or cards being available in all kinds of different rarities, right? Like, I mean, something like the Dragon Rulers, for example, are not a phenomenal reprint. They're not like crazy. They're not going to be crazy valuable. They're not expensive at the moment, but I like the option of being able to obtain all of them in whichever rarity I want, essentially. So I really hope they continue this concept of a set where you can just put a bunch of different rarities of cards in there.